So much for that. Hey campers, George here. Beautiful day today. Sun is out, blue skies, little breeze, very nice. I was just sitting out back there and watching Big Red run around. He's been pretty active. A couple of rabbits, birds. Oh yeah, looks like summer's here. Anywho, what I'm planning on doing right now is I'm heading to the shed, right here. And I want to work on one of my pallet projects, and that is I needed a workbench, just a plain workbench, nothing fancy, basically a tabletop that will give me some workspace. I don't have anywhere to work on, and so I looked at inside the shed and decided, I can put a fairly decent sized little workbench in here, and I'm going to do it out of pallets. So that's what I'm working on right now. I did start it, you saw it in the previous video on prepping the South 40. Show you how I did it. I'm planning on using just pallet wood to do it. Right now, I started the project and I have it up, and I'm just putting on the top. I'm going to be putting shelf in the bottom, things like that. And it's not complete. I'm literally holding it together with a couple of nails until I can get some screws and drill the holes and screw it, because as you know, with pallet wood, if you don't do that and you put a big screw in there, it's going to split. So you have to prep the hole. Thanks for joining me. Let's have a look and see how we're doing. So like I said, I've already started the project and basically got the foundation together. As you can see, I've opened both doors of the shed so we have some light in here. And you can see I'm putting the workbench in the corner here. I'm going to have to find a place for all this. So as I build the workbench and the area around it, I'm going to need to find room for these things, because I want to get rid of that. The reason is I want to move, when I bring the mower in, I want to be over to the left a little bit more to give me some working room there. And it shouldn't be a problem. I could probably get rid of that and move it over, which would give me enough room, but I want a little bit more. About this workbench is pallet wood, just using a nail to hold it together and frame it until I get the screws. And what I did for the legs was, if you look here, you can see the cutout on the wood for where the forklift forks go in to lift up the pallets. So I took two of those and flopped them around, put a nail through and held them together to form the legs. It's pretty sturdy and shouldn't be a problem. I'm not going to be doing any really heavy stuff on this. And then I used the building structure of the shed as the back, and I have underneath, I don't know if you can see that, I do have the support going across, and I'm going to have a support across here. There'll be a leg in the middle, which is that one right there. I'm going to be putting in the middle here to hold it and make sure it's all level. And then I will be putting the actual pallet wood itself here, cutting it to size and putting it on as the top. I may land up having to support a little bit more. I'm a little nervous about that wood. If I put something really heavy or drop something really heavy on it, I think it might crack. So I'm probably going to have to put another rib down the middle or across somehow to support it. So that's where I am now, and we're going to do a little bit more work on that. Like I said, I did figure out a way to break up the pallets, and that's this guy. I forgot that I had a Sawzall. It's been a while since I've used my home tools. So fortunately, I remembered I had that, pulled it out. I even had blades. I had a bimetal blade there, and it zips through the nails and everything really quickly. Ideally, I should pop the cut nails out. I haven't been doing that. Personally, I don't really care about that. When I do some more fancier pallet work, then I'll be making sure I take the nails out, and I'll be filling the holes and all that good stuff. But for my workbench, that's what it is. It's a workbench. How rough it looks, I'm not worried about, as long as it does the job and looks reasonably okay. Nobody cares about the nails. As long as they're not sticking out and going to hurt anybody, we're all good. So that's where I am. It's back to cutting up some more pallet wood, putting that extra leg on, put the top across, and that'll be the base to start. And then we'll add on. Like I said, I'm probably going to put a shelf at the bottom here. I might put a drawer, and I want to add support to this corner here. So I think I'm going to get myself a little vise and put it there so that I have somewhere to clamp things on when I work on them. Nice little project going, having fun doing it. So I'll be working on that. Talking to an associate at work, came up with some ideas for me to hang my weed whacker. I was having a problem trying to figure out how to hang that. And he suggested, don't go vertical with it, go horizontal. And you won't have such an issue trying to get the right sized forks to hold it, because it is pretty wide up here and you have the big head on top. So gave me a good idea then. Probably going to land up putting it across there. So back to work. Beautiful day in the South 40. Nice and noisy because the construction guys are out. Shouldn't be too much longer. I mean, they're going to be they've basically got most of this house done. It's huge. And now they're working on the outside. I've got a story to tell you about that house. It actually belongs to a local community college. They bought the property. They have a program in their community college which is construction. And initially, this was all done by the students. They had people overseeing it, showing them how to do things. That's the program they have. Unfortunately, with what happened, they had to shut down the program. And they had like 2 weeks to go for the students before they graduated. Plan was to celebrate in the house. They couldn't do it. Pretty sad. You got to do what you have to do. So what I'm doing here now is I want to put the middle leg on, and I wanted to show you, this is how I put the two pieces together to form the legs. And like I said, they just held together right now by nails, just so that I can get the project in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'll come back with screws and support it a little bit better and make it a little bit tighter and stronger. But for now, I'm just trying to keep the project going, get things up, leveled up and everything, and then start putting the pallet wood on the top, form the top. And maybe I'll put a support in. I think I'm going to have to do a support, which means I'm going to have to cut some more of this and figure out how I can use this to support down the middle. I think basically the same thing that I did here, except it's just going to run all the way down. There is a couple of pieces running down the middle here, and then the leg here. So the support is there right now. It's just not going to be strong enough if I'm going to do heavy work. So having looked at it, I had to, because obviously the pallet wood is not long enough to do the whole run of my bench, I had to come up with a system to hold two pieces together. So that's what this is for. This is holding these two together to form the joint. Now putting this here, I didn't want to do that. I wanted the leg to be equal to that one when you look down it. So I've had to move this to here. However, it actually works out for me, because my plan is from this leg that way is going to be tool storage and that sort of thing. Maybe I'm going to put a small drawer or something in here, and then some shelves going all the way down. Over here, underneath here, I'm going to put a shelf and put a lot of that stuff underneath here. Let me try and explain that a little bit better. This area here will be my tool area, where I'm going to put all my tools, screws, that sort of thing, work stuff. And then from this side of the leg to there, I'll put a shelf across here, maybe two, so that I can put that stuff there, and that'll separate it. It doesn't really bother me that this is not centered on it. It actually works out for me. So that's the plan. So what I did was I pre-drilled through this front piece here. One of the reasons is I'm going to be using these screws and I'm worried about the wood splitting. So if I pre-drill some holes, put the screw in through here and fix it onto here, the wood's not going to split and it'll stay together. You know, I've noticed that working with the pallet wood, if you don't do that, it just splits on you. You have to get another piece. So I'm going to do that, make sure it's level, get a screw in there, and then put another 2 in. And as you can see, down here when I cut to length, here's where the pallet fork goes in. Although I've doubled it over, it's still a little weak and it's not full. Whereas on this side, I have 2 full pieces. So this is where I'm going to do my screwing, and this is going to be on the floor. So let's get this level. It's a little off. Okay, now I've got it level with the top. I'm just going to put this 1 screw in. Just to hold it there. I want to make sure my top is still level. Oops. Right there. And I want to make sure it's at 90 degrees. So I know my level. I'm level here. And then I'm going to just check here. That's good. Check all 3 sides here. This needs to... Okay, so I've got that leg leveled out. I'm going to put the other 2 screws in. Whoops. One thing I'm doing right now is I'm using a wider piece of wood here. And this is because of this support. I don't want to have to cut 2 pieces of small wood, notch them out. This I can just do 1. There. Use my square. This is why I need a workbench. I've got nowhere to work. Now, I just want to cut this out. I'm right-handed, so I have to work this way. The problem I have is that now that I've cut this slots out, I've got to cut there. Ideally, you want to use something like a jigsaw. Unfortunately, I don't have one yet. I had one. I gave them all away. So now I have to rebuild my tool supply. Fortunately, I did keep some. So in order to do this, I'm going to have to improvise. Here's how. So in order to cut that piece out, normally you would use a chisel if you didn't have a jigsaw. Unfortunately, once again, I don't have a chisel. But I do have some old screwdrivers that can act as chisels. So I'm going to use these just to chop it out. There you go. Mark the length and then we'll cut it off. found this jig to be really handy. It's got 90, 30 and 45 slots in it, so I can cut the common angles pretty easily most of the time. Oh no, so much for that. It's too wide, so we'll have to mark it and cut it by hand. My gloves, my gloves. Anything for my gloves. I hid them apparently. Anything for a vise or a clamp. So we got that cut off. There we go. One more piece in. 764,000 to go. The joy. Life on a budget. What a challenge. So I just pre-drilled some very tiny holes because I'm going to put nails in just to hold it for now, like I said, until I get some screws and screw it in and fix it down. So I'm just using one nail right now just to hold them in place. And of course pre-drilling stops it from splitting. Hopefully you are wearing your hearing protection. And so we move on. So here you can see how far I got on the bench. So I got the top on, needs to be cleaned up and just straightened up a little bit. Shouldn't be too hard. Once I got that, we're going to put some screws in and fix it down properly. And you can see I have my trimmer sitting here, which I think I'm going to put up across there. Anywho, lots to do. The sun is out, summer is here, projects. But I'm tired and I'm old, so I'm going to sit and relax for a little. So there you go, campers, working on the pallet projects. As you can see, I got the top on the bench, and now I need to figure out how to put a shelf on there. I'm going to have to cut up some more pallets. I might have to go and beg from the boss again for some more pallets and put a shelf on the bottom. Well, actually 2 shelves. And then maybe I'm thinking about enclosing the bottom so that it has doors. And I can put stuff in and close it and it look pretty cool. He hopes. It's kind of rough right now, but we're getting there. And hey, I'm on a budget. What can I say? But I was rummaging around in my boxes back there, and looky, see what I found. I forgot I kept this guy. It's a hand sander. I might be able to clean up the wood a little bit and make it a little smoother so I don't get any splinters and things like that. I'm also thinking of a hard varnish on the workbench, but I don't know if that'll work. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll stain it. Maybe not. Who knows? Beautiful day today. Just gonna sit out here and relax a little bit. Think about what I'm gonna do next with that bench. Not really feeling up to cutting some more pallets up right now, so I think I'm gonna relax for a while. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. I'm pretty sure I'll be back again with some more pallets to tear them up. So far, this workbench has cost me nothing. My time. That's always a good thing on my budget. Just saying. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.